You're inspirational. Everything about you is amazing. Not afraid to step out, girl. You're trailblazing. Dedicated, hardworking woman. You're not playing. God first on top, non-stop. You keep praising and praying. You're inspirational. You're inspirational. You're inspirational.
Hey, how are you, Miss Anastasia?
Good. Good. Yourself?
I'm good, good seeing you.
You
Now tell me
too.
about your family. What's going on with you?
Family is good. I was military brat. I grew up in Philadelphia for a little part of my life, but then it was all over the place. Um, it ended up here in North Carolina, so we
Okay,
just stayed. Yeah. I now have an 18-year-old who's about to graduate next Wednesday.
okay,
I have a 7-year-old who's very active. She's actually inside playing now,
yeah,
and I'm soon to be married. Don't have a date yet, but we're planning it.
okay,
Um, but yeah, but my mom, my sister, my brother, everyone's doing great.
yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So I wanted you to come on here and talk about a little your health.
Okay. Well, growing up, I didn't never really have health issues. I never really got sick. And I think the most that ever happened was sore throat growing up.
Hmm.
Um, Growing up, I didn't really pay attention to my health. I was very much a junk food junkie growing up. So I didn't think nothing will happen to me health wise.
Yeah.
I got pregnant and had my daughter at 20. Um, but it started declining right after. There were signs in the beginning, but nobody thought nothing of it. Like I think about I think I was about 7 or 8 months
Hmm.
pregnant, and I broke out in these red blotches on my face.
Okay.
So when I went for my checkup, they just thought it was rosacea because that was the only symptom I had.
Hmm.
So they gave me some cream for it, and they said it'll go away.
Yeah.
Um, and it did. It went away uh, until after I gave birth, and then 3 days later, um, I had a C-section, and the uh, incision was swelled up really big, and they were like, "That's not normal."
Hmm.
So they ran labs and kind of found out that I had lupus.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I didn't know what that was. I never heard of it before. So the first thing I asked was I gonna die?
Yeah.
And the nurses and the doctors, they laughed and comforted me and let me know, it's just an autoimmune disorder. You're not gonna die from it. Um, but after research, I found out because it attacks your body from the inside out.
Hmm.
Depends on what it attacks, you can die from it.
Now, what are the symptoms? Were there certain things that you noticed besides, you say you had this swelling up? So, like, anything other than that, that somebody who,
Not not really. I just had the rash,
okay,
which lupus can create a butterfly rash on your face, around your eyes, your nose, and your mouth, and it looks like a butterfly.
okay,
Um, but because it was just around my mouth, uh, they still didn't think nothing of it because rosacea can cause those red blotches too,
okay,
which is a skin disorder.
yeah, okay.
So they
And
didn't think
so
nothing of it.
from there, then what
Hmm
happened? So what was the treatment like?
The first month, I was because I gave birth on the military base on Fort Stewart.
Okay.
So I sat there and I couldn't eat. I couldn't hold nothing down. It was like everything just kept getting worse and worse.
Hmm.
And then, so when they figured out they can't do nothing, they transferred me to Memorial Hospital in Savannah.
Hmm.
And they told me, well, first of all, I have all these tubes and IVs hooked up. So they took them all out. And next thing you know, I was like really hungry because I haven't eaten in a month.
Yeah.
So I was like really hungry. Because lunch was over at the time, they
Hmm.
sent an emergency plate so I could eat.
Okay.
and I got better from there. I was out of there in about a week,
Mhm.
and then
Wow.
so things got better. Um, I raised my daughter, and I think when she was about 6 months, I had a seizure. Never had one before,
Yeah.
but it was really bad. Ended up back in the hospital. Um, when I got out, I realized after I removed my right arm, I had paralyzed it. I guess I fell on it somehow,
Yeah.
and that became difficult. Just having this limb so heavy that you can't move. So that became difficult and depressing because I fell into a huge depression.
Wow.
And I still got this baby I got to take care of, but I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So my mom stepped in and she helped out a lot. And my aunt, my cousins, and my brother, they actually, because I used to take her out on walks, so they actually did that for me because I was ashamed. I had this rash on my face. And it started to swell, but I didn't think nothing of it. My whole body was swelling, and then I had this arm that I couldn't use.
Yeah.
So I stayed in the house. So they would take her out and just walk around the neighborhood, and my mom would take her and get clothes and groceries and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I did physical therapy. It got back together, but come to find out, the swelling I had in my body was my kidney was declining,
Oh, wow.
and it declined fast because all this happened in 1 year. And I looked like a Macy's Day balloon, and I couldn't fit no clothes. It hurt to put on shoes and socks. I had to wear slippers everywhere,
Yeah.
even to church.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, my self esteem dropped real bad, and I didn't want to be around nobody.
Yeah.
I just stayed in the house, and luckily for my family, they did help, which was a blessing.
Oh my gosh.
Um, yeah, and then on top of that, I had seizures all the time. They were worse, 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 and they actually thought they did a MRI one time.
Mhm.
There's this. It's not a mass. It's like a calcification, as the neurologist tells me.
Yeah.
That's in my backside of my head,
Okay.
and they check it to make sure it don't grow. Because if it grows, then it's something more. But thank God it hasn't. Yeah.
That's good.
So
Okay.
uh, they think that's from the seizure because I always fell and hit my head on something. Um,
You said you
but
did fall or you didn't?
I always fell and hit my head on something, whether it was it always happened at night. So I
Okay.
was always asleep. So, and I had a side bedside table next to my bed. I
Mhm.
always hit my head on that, or if I banged my head on the floor and missed the table.
Okay.
But after a while, that got under control. Um, I started to get better. I ended up on dialysis because my kidneys did
Wow.
fail,
Yeah.
both of them. So I ended up on dialysis. I didn't stay in center for a long time because I was really really young,
Yeah.
and so the nurses they felt bad, so they said, "Well, you got this baby, you gotta live for."
Yeah.
So they suggested doing home dialysis.
Mhm.
I was like, okay. So they told me about it. They signed me up for home dialysis, which was more better because I did that at night. That way I have the whole day to work and take care of my daughter.
Yeah.
So that went great.
Okay.
And then I did that for 10 years.
Mhm.
But then the dialysis port worn out. It actually lasted longer than what it's supposed to, thank God for
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
But it worn out, which everybody knew that would happen.
Yeah.
So they had to do another form of home dialysis, which is about 4 hours every night. I would do that after dinner. I'll cook dinner, come home from work, cook dinner, and my mom would have to come over and hook me up to an actual dialysis machine that I had
Yeah.
in my room. And we'll do that for 4 hours, and she'll disconnect me and go home. So she was my pretty much home nurse.
Yeah.
Um, so we did that, and I still felt good. I still was active. I'll have my days where I
Mhm.
get really weak and tired. Um, but it was a blessing
Yeah.
to take care of my daughter. And Yeah, I know it was God with me all the time from the beginning, because I'll
Yeah.
never forget. Uh, in the room, in the hospital room, at the hospital base, I kept telling my mom every time I call her, I was like, "There's someone in the room," but I don't see him. Like you can feel that presence that someone's
Yeah.
standing there, and it was nothing bad. Like I felt good about it, but I will
Yeah.
never forget it. She just told me to pray about it. God's in the room with you,
Yeah.
and I did,
Hmm.
and it went away, and next thing you know, I was being transferred to the hospital, but I felt good that he was there in the room with me throughout all this that
Yeah.
happened over the years. Um, then in 2017, UNC in Chapel Hill here in North Carolina, they called and said they had a kidney transplant for me.
Okay.
I mean, a kidney for me. So I was excited
Okay, that's
because
good.
I ended up staying home from work that day.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling it going to work that day,
Mhm.
so I stayed home, and they called me the first time they called me. We went up there. I don't remember what happened, but they ended up sending me back. So it was like, okay, well that's a trial run. And then
Yeah.
a couple months later, it said, oh yeah, we got a kidney for sure. So me and my mom couldn't get up there fast enough, and we knew it had been up for God because I had went through all forms of dialysis, and there was nothing else to left for me to do but get a
Yeah.
transplant. Actually, bumped me up to the top of the list, and there was a lot of people on the list in
Yeah.
the North Carolina area, and they actually bumped me up to number one,
Wow.
and I got my kidney transplant sooner than what I thought.
It's a blessing. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So
So
was it, you think it was because you were praying and trusting God? Like what were your thoughts at that time?
yeah, I prayed and trust God, and just like any human, of course, I have my doubts and wonder, why me? Why me? What did I do? Uh, Looking back over my life, I was like, I mean, I try to be a good person. Um, and of course, as teenagers, you do what you want to do. And
Yeah.
I spent my whole adult life in and out of hospital. So I don't know what I could have done wrong there. So I was like, I don't get it. Like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
And um, to this day, I still don't know, but I don't know if it was something I needed to go through to get where I need to go,
Mhm.
which is fine.
Yes.
Um, because if that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do.
Yeah.
Um, but
Did any of it bring you closer to God?
it did actually. Yes, my
Okay.
relationship with God is much better than it was when I was younger.
Okay.
Um, I actually read my Bible more. I pray more because He done brought me this far, so there's no way I'm gonna go stray away at all.
Yeah.
Um, and I know during those times it scared my daughter a lot, so she's kind of iffy about it.
Mhm.
So I'll be trying to bring her back. So I had her in church when she was younger, but she got older. She's kind of like,
Yeah.
So now I talk to her little by little without forcing it on her,
Mhm.
just to bring her back. So when she comes back, it's on her own decision and not me
Yeah.
forcing it on her.
Mhm.
Um, so I hope it helps her though.
Yeah.
But yeah, my relationship it has grown stronger, and I still continue to do what I need to do to get closer to God. And I have my fiance here, so he's there with me as well. So he'll
Yeah.
encourage me on along the way as well, and we'll talk about the Bible and some stuff that either he don't understand or I don't understand, and we'll just talk about it. And we'll bring up situations like he was younger or things that I've been through, and just to compare, God has been there for us the entire time.
Yeah.
Um, like I can tell you at least twice that I came close to death too.
Oh, wow.
One during all this swelling, it had got up to my lungs,
Mhm.
and they told me I had like a little pocket of air, just very little.
Mhm.
They told me if I would have waited one more day, I probably would have died that day.
Wow.
Um, I went to my mom, and I'm having to get off work early to take me to the hospital. Um, my lungs had collapsed, and I had congestive heart failure.
Mhm.
Because there was so much fluid on my lungs, so they had to drain all that out.
Mhm.
Um, which they did, and I got better. They end up, of course, whatever they did to put my lungs back together,
Yeah.
and
Whatever
my
God
lungs
did.
they're doing.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Lungs doing great. I still have them moments. Like if I lay flat, I can't lay flat anymore because
Okay.
I feel like I can't breathe.
Okay.
Um, and I don't try to take it too much because then my heart starts to hurt because it's pumping so much.
Yeah.
Um, so I know to take it easy when I want to do stuff or any activities.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I've been through a
So,
lot, but I've made it.
yeah. Now with you and your fiance now, how long have y'all been engaged?
2 years.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so when y'all talk about different things, like, of course, like, the things that you've been through, does it scare him at all? Like, trying to move forward into a marriage?
If it does, he doesn't tell me.
Okay.
Um, he don't show it at all. He's very supportive though. He go to every single doctor's appointments. Uh, if I so happen to know some medicine, he'll tell me, "Did you take your medicine?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I gotta take it." So
Yeah.
he's very supportive. Make sure I stay on top. And one thing that I'm struggling with is staying hydrated. Because
Yeah.
when you're on dialysis, you're told not to drink so much. So see, it was 12, 13 years of not drinking a lot
Yeah.
to having to constantly keep drinking.
Yeah.
It's still kind of hard even
Difficult.
after 8 years. Yeah. So he'll still tell me, you need to drink water, you need to drink water. So I have to constantly drink water.
Oh,
And I still struggle because some days I do
a
forget
lot
to
of people
drink.
don't like water, so I understand.
Yeah.
Can't
I
have
can
all
drink
the,
anything. Yeah. Water, juice. Mostly they recommend like fruit juices. Um, I drink coffee, but not that much.
mm,
Of course, no alcoholic beverages, which I never drunk, so I don't have to worry about that.
yeah.
Um, just anything that has a lot of water content,
Yeah.
because there's only one kidney, so I have to keep that one going.
Yeah. And so
Yeah,
at your church, what kind of church is it? And did they do a lot of praying? Like, is it a healing church? What kind of church is it?
it's a Baptist church I go to.
Okay.
They're very supportive, and yeah, they pray for me all the time. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I just hope everything gets better and I hope you keep praying. And I know a lot of times, like, we don't know. And then,
Hmm.
'cause like, even for me, like, sometimes being sick, like when I have been sick, whatever, but at those times I
Yeah,
wasn't in a relationship or marriage. And so sometimes
yeah,
sin can cause sickness. So, but like, as
yeah,
long as you're trying to please God and do what you're supposed to be doing, like, God's gonna see you through it. So, make sure you do just, and don't have any unforgiveness in your heart. Like, make sure you just got love
yes.
flowing through you. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
gonna be praying for you that God continues to heal and bless you so that you can come out of
Thank
this
you.
strong. And then you're gonna have a testimony for so many people because so many people are going through things and they don't know what to do or who to call on. So
Yeah,
you can help them through this.
yeah. Yeah, the
Oh,
main thing that I had to learn was to keep the faith. 'Cause there's some days I was like, what's the point?"
yeah.
I actually had one right after I met my fiance. I was ready to just give up. I actually just thinking about it makes me want to cry, but I'm trying not to. I
Oh,
actually told my coworker she could we end up crying together. I was like, I was ready to give up. I was literally sitting in the bathroom. I'll never forget. I was sitting in the bathroom. We have a washer and dryer in the half bathroom.
mm-hmm,
I literally sat in there, and we have a shower curtain to separate the washer and dryer in the half bath.
mm-hmm,
So it was there, and there was a belt hanging in there, and I was ready to go that day. I cried, I prayed, I was like, I'm ready to come home to you, Lord, because I can't anymore.
yeah,
Um, and I was just about to get down and grab the belt, and my daughter came barging in the bathroom because both kids don't believe in knocking on the door when you're in the bathroom.
mm-hmm,
But the oldest one, she actually came in and said, "Mom, what are you doing?" She said, "I was looking for you." She had I heard her calling me, but she had no reason to look for me. But
yeah,
I knew it had to be nobody but God at
yeah,
that day for her to just come down there just to see where I was at. Because after that, she went back upstairs
yeah.
and
That
went
was
in her
God.
room. She had no reason why she was looking
Yeah,
for me. So I cleaned my face up and I prayed and I thank God for that. Because if it wasn't for her, that
yeah,
probably would have been the end of it.
yeah.
Then. So
And
I
what
try to
can you
make sure
say
that.
about that? Like, at that time though, when you were feeling like giving up, now what kind of voices like or things that was coming in your mind to make you feel that way? So that like, you can help somebody right now because a lot of people are feeling like giving up. So what would you say to
What I
them?
was what I was thinking, well, don't listen to all the negativity in your head, because
Hmm.
all I kept thinking was, I won't be a bother to nobody. I won't be nobody's hindrance. Nobody's life don't have to stop because I have to go get medicine and I have to go to the hospital or this procedure gotta be done. This procedure gotta be done. Yeah, I could drive myself, but not everything I can do myself. I have to have a driver with me.
Yeah.
So, everybody is free to do their own thing. They won't have to worry about me. And then in the midst of all that, I thought about my daughter, like, she'll be here all alone.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, she got family here, but it's nothing like having your parents with you.
Yeah.
But in the midst of that, peeking through all the negativity, I still had all that negativity coming in, and like, you won't be nobody's problem anymore, and such. And then that's when she came down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just block out all the negativity. Try to think of the good things, and that's what I try to make sure I do all the time, even when I feel down. I try to
Yeah.
think of all the good things.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's next for you, Anastasia?
Um. Next, the baby's coming.
Okay.
um. I'm trying to go back and do my nursing degree.
Okay.
Something I've been trying to do for a long time.
Hmm.
So I want to finish that, at least an MA, because the MA is not. I don't have to be in school that long. It's not too much stress. I did try the do RN and CNA classes, but it
Hmm.
was too much stress. I had too many seizures on top of that stress, and my daughter, she was a taller than the oldest,
Okay.
and it was too much stress. So the
Okay.
MA, I had a ex coworker told me it's only like 2 years,
Mhm.
and then you get certified, and it's
Okay.
not a lot of stress. So I was like, I can do that. So that's my next step.
Yeah.
Uh, I did want to write my testimony in a book, but I don't know how to write books.
That's right.
I've tried. I've tried on my computer. I got so
Yeah.
many versions, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
All you gotta do is write. Just keep writing. And then later on you
Yeah,
edit. So just write it.
I might have to do that.
So, well, I think things are gonna go good for you, and I'm gonna be praying for you, and I will add you to the prayer list. And so
Thank
I just
you.
believe that God's gonna work things out. So just keep trusting Him and keep believing and keep living for Him. And thank you
I
so
will.
much
Thank you.
for coming on here and telling your testimony and just giving me a brief, understanding of lupus and everything that was going on. So
Yes,
thank you.
you're welcome.
And I just hope everything goes good with your family and the marriage. I hope y'all go ahead and set a date, so you can have a
Thank you.
happy, happy marriage, happy life.
Yes, I
All
look
right.
forward to that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And I hope y'all have
You're
fun. Have a
welcome.
good day. You and your little
You
girl.
too.
All right.
Thank you. She's here. Say hi, L'Oreal.
Hello.
Hi.
All right.
All
See you
right.
next time.
All right. Thank you.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye.